we're gonna start on our backs. So those of you at home, I'm gonna actually like tilt down so you can see me a little bit. This is gonna like be more awkward than normal. Sorry. It's like weird. So when you get down to your back, hips in the middle of the mat, just start to rock your knees. So take the soles of your feet to the mat, knees bent, and rock your knees slowly back and forth. We're just going to use this time to transition. So when we go from our daily life onto our mat, especially during this tumultuous time, I have really liked taking just an extra minute to make the transition, to intentionally transition myself into my practice. And then eventually slow your knees down and extend the legs down the mat, coming into Shavasana. So today, we will kind of start here and end here. So hands down by the hips, but a little bit away from the body, maybe palms up as a sign of receiving. And then take a couple of breaths. In through the nose, out through the nose. If you need a sigh out of the mouth a couple times, that's totally acceptable too. If your nose is stuffy, then breathe through your mouth. But imagine that you are breathing through your nose, clearing those passages. And then actively try to let your belly grow up towards the sky on your inhale. And then let it fall back towards the earth on the exhale. On your next inhale, belly grows up to the sky and pelvic floor grows down towards your feet. Making the cavity within your torso even bigger. And then everything comes back towards midline. On the next inhale, let the belly grow, let the pelvic floor drop, and let the breath push up against your clavicles, against your collarbones. And then on your next inhale, again belly, again pelvic floor, again breath up against your shoulders and your collarbones, and breath pushing towards the mat, so into the back body. So hopefully that's the fullest breath you've taken so far, and then take about 3 more breaths just like that. Imagining that your torso is creating space in all of those directions, up and down, towards the mat, and then up and down towards your head and towards your feet. You can place hands on the belly to help you feel the breath moving your body, or you can keep your hands down by your sides. And then when you're ready, pull your right knee into the chest. So however that feels comfortable for you, maybe lacing hands just below the knee, maybe lacing hands on the back of the thigh, maybe taking the sides of the thigh, whatever you can reach. Pull that knee in. We're gonna start with some gentle, so do it gently, don't go all out. Little flow here. So we're gonna, when you're ready, inhale and pull the knee in. Exhale, curl up towards the knee. Shoulders and head lift, chin tucks. Inhale, let the head and shoulders come back down. Exhale, knee comes away from the body. So you can hold the leg or you can actually let go and let the knee extend away. Inhale, pull the knee in. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, return to the mat. Exhale, knee away from the body. Inhale, pull it in. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, come back down. Exhale, knee away. Move with your breath. So I'm going to stop saying it. Just keep going. Exhale to curl in. That's always my key. Like, am I doing it right? With the breath. 3 more rounds. Exhale to curl up whenever you get there. And then when you're ready, plant that foot on the mat for a moment. Let the other foot join it, so knees are bent. And we're gonna do some hip tilts. So it's like you're prepping for bridge, but we're not gonna go to bridge yet. So hands can be down by your sides. Inhale and tuck the tail. So you're pressing your low spine onto the mat. And then exhale, release. So just some pelvic rocks here. Inhale, press the low spine onto the mat. Inhale, release. Sorry, exhale, release. Inhale, tail tucks, like a dog that's in trouble. Exhale, release. Inhale, tail tucks. Feel the engagement in your core. Exhale, release. Extend the right leg down your mat. Pull the left knee into the chest. Pause here for a few moments. Take a couple breaths. If you want a little movement, you can kind of circle the knee. If you want stillness, just hold the knee into the chest. And then when you're ready, let's start our flow. So inhale, pull the knee in. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, release down. Exhale, let the knee float away. Inhale, pull the knee in. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, release. Exhale, knee floats away. Inhale, bring the knee in. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, release down. Exhale, knee away. So let your breath guide your movement. Keep going with your own breath. Good job. So some of us might be feeling this in our core. If we are, that just means we're getting stronger. That is great. If you need to take a break, you can. Exhale, always to curl up. So recheck your breath every time you curl up. One movement to one breath. One more round, wherever you are, finish it out. And then let that foot meet the mat. Pull the other one in, knee rock side to side. Arms can go on belly, arms can go out to the side, arms can go to cactus arms to open up the chest. A little bit more. Deep breaths. And then come back to center, pull the right leg in, extend the left leg down the mat, right arm out to a T, and then left arm guides the right leg across the midline into a supine spinal twist. If there is a spinal twist that you like better than this, then you can take that. But this is kind of the traditional supine spinal twist. Feel free to turn your head to the right. People on the computer, if you're looking at me, my arm is out to a T, but I look so like not in line because it's a weird angle, just so you know. So do what I say, not what you see. It's looking like my arm is up by my ear. Take some deep breaths. Enjoy the twist. And then come back to center and circle that knee. So your hands can help it circle, or you can just circle it with the strength of your upper leg and hip. And then take the circles the other way. Breathing deep, cultivating that breath. And then hug that knee in one last time and extend it down the mat. Pause in Shavasana just for a moment and feel the two sides of your body. Noticing without judgment how they feel the same, how they feel different. Think about your hips, think about your legs, think about the two sides of your spine. And then when you're ready, pull the left leg into the chest. Left arm out to a T, right arm guides the left leg across the body. Supine spinal twist. Head can turn to the left if that's comfortable for the neck. If it's not, just gaze up towards the sky. And again, try to just sink in to the twist. And as space opens to you, you can either choose to stay where you are or move into that space. Two more breaths. And then when you're ready, come back to center and start circling that knee. Working into the hip, bringing a little extra fluid into that joint. I took a class at Manitou Park from one of the teachers that I've taken from for probably maybe 6 years now, which is crazy to me. And she was saying that she just turned 43, and she's like, everything is popping. Like my ankles pop and my hips pop. I was like, that's funny. Everything just hurts on me. She's like, I don't know what's happening to my body. Circle the other way if you haven't started to do so. And then pull the knee into the chest. Take a few breaths. And then it's your choice which way you rock. So pull knees into chest. You can rock forward and back along the spine, or you can rock side to side. but eventually you're gonna rock all the way one way and come up to a seated position. Maybe if I cut off my head, you might be able to see some of my legs. Oh, that's like perfect, okay. So we're gonna take a moment here and set an intention for the rest of our practice. So something that I've been thinking about a lot is letting go. So for me in my life, it's a relationship right now that I am realizing that maybe I need to let go of. And it's super sad and it's super hard. And like the relationship is no longer serving me. But for you, maybe it's something else. So whatever it is, maybe that you feel like is not serving you anymore in your life, that you need to let go of, whether that's something that you spend your time doing, that you could spend your time doing something better, whether it's a relationship, whether it's things in your house, whether it's patterns or habits, whatever it is, there's always something that we need to let go of. So taking a moment here in our seat, thinking about something that we could let go of that would clear the path for something better. Take a few breaths, trying to turn inward and listen to yourself. I find that's the hardest part, is especially if the letting go feels hard. There's always like emotions and whatever swirling around it, and then it's harder to hear what your intuition, what you already know is the answer. So just taking a moment. And then just thinking about letting go in general. So, you know, when someone isn't going, when the light has turned green, letting go of those 10 seconds of your drive that you lose instead of honking. Letting go of the opportunity that you missed. Letting go of the things that we have no control over. So for me, like, you know, choices people are making right now in this time sometimes don't make sense to me. And so trying to let go of the fact that I don't get to make those choices for them, and that I just have to speak my truth and let others choose what they need to choose for themselves. If your eyes were closed, maybe open your eyes. Let's inhale when you're ready. Reach up to the sky, inviting the universe for help with all this hard stuff. And then exhale over to the right. Maybe take a breath or two there. Inhale when you're ready, back to center. Exhale over to the left. So this, you guys, is what I really believe about yoga, is that it is practice. When you're ready, come back to center, and then over to the right again. So we get to practice on our mat, letting go. We get to practice all these things that I just talked about. And then when we step off our mat, inhale, we get to use that practice in our everyday life, because we just practiced it on our mat. And whether that means we practiced it with our bodies or with our minds or with our hearts, we did some practice, and now we need to go like play the game, right? Life is the game. Yoga is our practice time. So whatever it is that you need in your life right now, you get to practice it right now. When you've done both sides equally and you come back to center, exhale and come forward. Wherever your body stops you is fine. Take a few deep breaths into the back body. We forget that our ribs can expand out and back. We often use the front of our ribs to expand our breath. So use the back of your ribs to take deep breaths. And then walk your hands towards your body. So the other thing I think is yoga is our practice, but then whatever it is to you, whether it's like the universe or your higher power, that collective unconsciousness, whatever it is there to help you turn your practice into real living, right? So it's there for you to help turn whatever we are cultivating here on our mat into something real in our life. So don't forget about that. Switch your legs. Inhale when you're ready. Exhale, come forward. Opening the hips, opening the back body, relaxing the neck and shoulders. Taking some more deep breaths, maybe sighing out the mouth. It is such hard work to let go, but we get to practice in many ways. We get to let go of every single breath that we take in. We get to let go about the fact that our bodies don't look like the cover of Yoga Magazine. We get to let go that the poses that we do are not perfect. There are a million ways that we get to practice letting go on our mat. When you're ready, inhale, roll up through the back. Let's switch our legs back. If you need a sec to like stretch them out and shake them out, do that in between. Unless you want to sit on your non-dominant side for longer. I'm going to switch back to my normal way of sitting because it's more comfortable. And we're just going to give our neck and upper shoulders and upper back some love. So when you're ready, exhale and drop the chin down. Keeping the rest of your spine long. And if you don't feel a good enough stretch in those erector spina, the muscles that run up and down along your spine, you can gently take your hands to the back of your head and gently, gently pull your head down so your chin tucks a little bit more, just until you feel those muscles being stretched. And then breathe. And then release the hands if you use the hands. Rock the head so that the right ear comes towards the right shoulder. Sorry. And then, because your chin is probably facing straight forward, you can also take your chin to look down towards that arm. The right arm, and you'll just feel the stretch in your neck changing, and try to keep the left shoulder lower. So actively press the left shoulder away from the ear. Lift the chin slowly back up. If there's someone where you want to pause there, take a breath, and then you can come back to chin pointing forward. And then roll the neck slowly down towards the chest again. Again, if there's a place that you want to pause, that you feel a good stretch or feel some tightness, You can pause and take a breath. There's lots of pausing in this, so feel free to do it wherever you need to. Eventually rolling your left ear towards your left shoulder. Again, actively pressing the right shoulder down. Gently though, because if you're tight like me, it can get intense really quick. And then if you liked it on the other side, you can gently and slowly turn your chin towards the left arm and pause wherever you feel a nice stretch or tightness that you want to have leave your body. Deep breaths the whole time, pressing the right shoulder down towards the mat. When you're ready, chin lifts so that the left ear is still towards the left shoulder, and then gently let the chin come down towards the chest again. And then just do little half circles. So ear to shoulder, chin to chest. Other ear to shoulder, chin to chest. And if you find a place, again, that you're like, oh, that's a tight spot, feel free to pause there. Take a breath or two. Maybe it will release, maybe it won't. Mine never do, I'm so tight. I need to stay there for like 3 minutes. And then eventually, maybe in like 3 more breaths, let the chin come down to the chest. Take a breath there. Try to straighten the rest of your back. Maybe we've forgotten to stay tall. And then inhale when you're ready and lift the chin. When you get there, let's roll out the shoulders. So you can do both shoulders together, or you can do like one forward and one back, whatever feels best. Just getting some motion. Let me check in really quick. How's the sound still for those of you at home? Can you give me like a thumbs up, side or down? Okay, good. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, yay, thank you guys. And then just make sure you reverse direction. So if you were going one way, go the other way. You can get the arms involved. So you're like swimming. Just moving those shoulders, that upper back. Okay. So usually we do this when we're on our back, but we're gonna do it kind of for fun while we're sitting, and then we'll do it again once we get back down on our back. So we're gonna reach our hands out from our shoulders, and we're gonna pull our hands forward so our shoulders come forward. And then we're gonna press our shoulders back, and so your hands might get wider. And then we're gonna pull our shoulders forward, and then press them back. Pull our shoulders forward. It feels different when we're on our back. So those of you that have been practicing this with me a lot, you will notice that this is different. And then we're gonna press our shoulders back and then clasp towards the opposite arms. And then we're gonna just bring the elbow out to one side and then opposite elbow. And you can allow the top of the body to twist a little bit. So when we're on the ground, the floor stops the elbow that we're pulling towards, but seated, we can kind of twist a little bit more. And it feels just a little bit different. And then once you get to one side, I want you to unclasp and just take the hand to the outside of the upper arm and gently pull. So I always feel like this is a volleyball stretch. If you guys did like volleyball any time in your life, they always do this stretch. Try to keep your shoulder down. Don't let it come up. Shoulder down, arm. You can relax that hand. You can circle the wrist. Deep breaths. Our poor little shoulders this time of year. Cross the arm across your body. Yeah, like that. And then bring that arm to the upper arm. Yep. And kind of pull, pull. There you go. Yes, there you go. And then switch. Yep. So I like, take your right arm under. There you go. Beautiful. Try to get that shoulder down away from the ear. You can roll out the wrist. Deep breaths. And then let that go. A few little shoulder rolls, whatever type you want. Reverse the direction when you're ready. And then lean back into your hands, bring your feet a little wider than your hips and rock the knees sides. And again, always if you find a place that you're like, oh, that needs a little breath, pause, take a breath, and then move on. Okay, so I'm trying to get all the like really tight spots, like gardening kills our neck, shoulders, and hips. If you're not a gardener, you should start. So we're gonna rock to one side, and then you're gonna walk your hands closer to your body, and you're gonna let your torso come up as much as you can. Maybe your hands can come forward, maybe not. Maybe you need a little space and you need to keep back a little bit. So it gets a little intense, especially in this knee that is right in front of you. So take a few breaths. Try to relax into the hip. And then lean back and rock your knees the other way. And again, start to walk your hands closer to your body, sitting your torso up, little inching, inching, inching. Maybe hands can come forward. And then just try to like feel this hip kind of settle down towards the mat. So this is step one. And you can keep repeating step one. You don't have to follow the rest of what I'm gonna offer. So you can just do this over and over again because it's gonna get like a little bit more intense, but hopefully, even though it feels intense while we're practicing, then you'll feel openness afterwards. Walk your hands back, rock your knees side to side a couple of times. Notice how the hips feel. And then go back to your first side. Sit back up to where you were and take the hand that is out in front and just like press down very gently, right kind of at the hip crease or right below the hip crease. So you're trying to help the hip lower, lower, lower down. And once again, you do not have to put the pressure on the hip. That is optional. Especially if you have hip issues, be extremely careful and maybe choose to say, not today. That's always an option. One more deep breath. And then gently take that pressure off. Lean back. Always lean back first. Then move the hips. Maybe a couple rocks before the next side. Once you get to the next side, sit up again. You'll notice that there's always one side that's tighter than the other. This is my tight side. So be extra gentle and aware on your extra tight side. Press into the top of the leg, which is actually not the top, it's like the side, you know, because you're inwardly rotated. And again, always the choice to skip. If you just want to do knee rocks instead of these suggestions, that's also a great benefit for your hips. One more breath. And then gently release that pressure. Just keeping your awareness in the hips, slowly unrock, rock side to side. We're gonna do one more little set here. Again, always choice to not do it. Always choice to do something we've already done. Always choice to just stay right here. So this front knee, we're gonna lift the knee and we're gonna let it drop. Like the weight of your leg is just gonna drop. So you're gonna lift and drop, 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 drop. About 20 to 30 times. So you can count your own. And then pause. Feel your hip. Maybe you feel like, oh, I can like move my body a little bit more forward. And then lean back into the hands. Open that hip. Knee rock a little bit. Readjust if you're sliding back or sliding forward. And then come into the other side. We're almost done. So this front knee is gonna lift and drop. So it lifts just like 2 inches off the ground. Drop, 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 drop. Good job, Meg. "20 to 30 times or whatever feels right to you. And then pause. Take a few breaths. Maybe you find that you can like lean forward a little bit. Maybe you have a little extra space and movement in your torso because your hip is a little bit more open. And then lean back. Always do that first, then open the knees. We're gonna bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide. Oh, that feels like such a great counter pose, right? And then lean back with the right hand. Take the left hand onto the thigh. Press gently into the thigh. And then you can like kind of reach back with your hand. So my back shoulder always goes up a little bit just because my back arm is supporting me, but try to keep that front shoulder away from the ear. Opening the hip the other direction. Good. One more deep breath. And then gently, 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 and slowly release. And then come to center. Maybe like small little bounces. You don't bounce in very many places, but this is one place that it's actually like okay physiologically to bounce. You just don't want to ever overstretch because you're bouncing. And then pause. Take the other arm behind you. I kind of like to do it out to the side a little bit. And then right arm onto right thigh. Just make sure you're not pressing like on the knee itself. So somewhere between the knee and the hip. And then press that side down. The other side can lift a little bit. We're just trying to get space in the front of the hip. So however it works best for you to create that space. Deep breaths. So loosening neck, shoulders, and hips, strengthening core today in order to give us the strength to let go and the space to accept something new. So really trying to weed out in our lives, like come to some clarity about the things that release really gently and slowly. Come to some clarity about the things that we need to let go so that we have space for the things that will bring us more joy. More, I hate to use happiness, I like joy better. Okay, use your hands to help your knees come together. We're gonna roll, let's do a quick cat-cow before we go down onto our backs because we haven't done that. So if you wanna stay seated and do a cat-cow, that's fine, but oh my gosh, I think we've been seated for long enough. So coming to hands and knees, stacking the shoulders over the wrists, stacking the hips over the knees. You guys are already doing your cat-cows, so just make sure you're moving with the breath. Inhale into cow, exhale into cat. And if you want to do circular cat-cow, or if you want to wag your tail, especially because we're doing hips, we haven't gotten to the outside of our hips, so if you want to like shift your tail one direction, and then shift your tail the other direction, you can kind of get into the outside of the hips. We'll do a figure 4, that'll get it to. So whatever you want here in this tabletop. Kind of a little yogi playtime. You can do some C curves. If you want more core work, you could do a couple spinal balances. If you want to rest, you can take a child's pose. We'll spend about another minute, and then we'll go down onto our backs. So from wherever you are, start to, if you're in table, you can shift your hips to one side and then sweep your legs around and coming down onto your mat, however is most comfortable for you. So when we first get down here, we're gonna repeat that arm motion that we did seated that we usually do on our back. Keep your knees bent for now for some extra support. So reach your hands up, pull your shoulders off your mat, and then let the shoulders be like super weighty on the mat. So inhale, reach up to the sky, and exhale, release the shoulders. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, shoulders meet the mat. Try to make your back wide as possible. One more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, shoulders plant. And then take opposite elbows and start rocking the elbows. So I really like to inhale to center, exhale to one side. Inhale to center, exhale to one side. And then you can add the knees. The knees go the opposite way of the arms. If you want to go faster, you can inhale to one side, exhale to the other side. It just depends what your body likes. And then if you want to add the head follows the knees. So knees and head go one direction, elbows go the other. And then eventually coming back to center. So maybe do one more set. If you remember which way you started, and on the other side. And then hands are gonna come down, cross the right ankle onto the left thigh, just below the knee. Maybe this is your figure four. Maybe you have space to take the left leg into the sky. Maybe hands can grab the sides of the thigh or wrap around the back. Into figure four. That left leg can extend up towards the sky. It can relax and hang. You can circle the ankle. But what we really want is to feel the hip stretch. So this is the chance to get that outside, that gluteus minimus stretched on the outside of your hip. You can rock figure four also, but when you go towards the leg that your hands are holding, just be really gentle because it can increase the stretch a lot. Take a few more breaths. And then if the left leg is in the air, float it back down to the mat. Uncross the right leg, cross the left leg. Pause with the right leg on the ground. Just notice your hips. And then if you feel you have space to lift the right leg into the sky, maybe trying to mirror what you did on the last side. Maybe rolling that right ankle. Starting to slow the breath if possible. Starting to think about what it is that you really need to let go of. And maybe at the same time, what letting go might create space for. So I find, especially when letting go is hard, if I know or have an idea of something that might need that space. So for me, I said, I'm trying to kind of let go of a relationship. And so that would leave space for other relationships that might be more life-giving, that might be less toxic, that might be, better for me and therefore for all the people around me. And maybe the other people need that space but can't let go. So if I let go, maybe I force them to create space for something that's better for them as well. So letting the mind ponder, letting whatever you are pondering kind of make the journey from the mind down to the heart. It's a hard journey from the head to the heart. Let the right leg float back to the mat if it was up. Uncross the legs. Rock the knees side to side. One last knee rock. We started with knee rocks. So how do these knee rocks feel different if you can remember? Maybe you have a little extra space in the hips. Maybe you have a little space, extra space in the shoulders and neck. Bring the knees not all the way into the chest, but kind of like at a 90-degree angle. Take the right hand out to a T. Left hand guides the knees over to the left. Final spinal twist before we relax down for Shavasana. So I always like to take whatever intention that I set in my yoga practice, kind of at the end from my head down to my heart. And then in Shavasana, we always get to practice letting go. So Shavasana, there's a reason it's called final relaxation. It is our practice for our real in life final rest. And so I like to think that that I am practicing the final letting go. And what would I want my final letting go to be like? So I've been with a couple people when they have had their final letting go. And so I've seen people that are bitter. And I've seen people that are just pure love. And so here on our mat, we get to practice how we want to be when our time comes. And those are the two extremes, right? There's been a lot in between, but I know which extreme I would like to lean towards. Let's bring the knees back to center. If you want to rock side to side a little bit, go ahead and do that. And then left arm out to a T, right hand guides the knees over to the right. Let your intention, your plans, whatever your mind has done during this practice, let that, imagine that making its way down your spine into your heart space. And then when you're ready, bring the knees back to center. Any last movements that you want to take, so not a full yogi playtime, but if you want to stretch your legs up to the sky, if you want to roll out wrists and ankles, if you want to just shake out the legs and shake out the arms, and then move to our practice for our final rest. If you need a prop, feel free to use a prop here. And whatever it is that your mind has been pondering, whatever it is that your heart has captured, now is the time to just let it go. Whatever needs to stick will stick. And everything else can just pour out and stay with your mat. Begin to wiggle fingers and toes, slowly waking yourself up, maybe reaching overhead, making the body long, and eventually bending the knees. You can rock the knees before you move towards a seated position. Maybe coming over on one side and pushing yourself up. And once you get there, we're going to take 3 breaths together. So let's inhale, sweep the arms up, maybe lift the chin to take the gaze up. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up, maybe chin lifts. Exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands through heart center. This time, bow the head. Acknowledge your heart. Acknowledge the beautiful light that burns within you. The light in me sees and honors the light within each of you. Namaste.